Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, despite decades of secularism, Albania is still predominantly Muslim. According to the 2011 census, Islam is the largest religion, with 56% of the population identifying as Muslim. This majority stems from nearly 5 centuries of Ottoman rule, during which most Albanians converted to Islam. Consequently, when Albania gained independence in November 1912, it was a Muslim-majority nation. After establishing an independent state in 1912, Albania did not recognize an official state religion during the interwar period, though religious freedom was guaranteed. However, following the communist victory in 1945, there was a significant push to educate Albanians in the new socialist ideology, which aimed to eradicate old patriarchal and conservative traditions. This effort culminated in 1967 when Albania declared itself the world's first officially atheist state and banned all religious practices. During the 1970s, most of Albania's 1,200 mosques and 400 Catholic and Orthodox churches were either destroyed or repurposed as warehouses, sports halls, or cinemas. Only religious buildings of significant historical or architectural value, like the Etham Bey Mosque in the center of Tirana, were preserved as part of the national heritage. Secular festivals replaced traditional religious observances, and clergy faced severe persecution, with many executed or imprisoned in hard labor camps. Before the one-party state ended in 1991, Albania was the world's only officially atheist state. When state communism fell in 1991, religious activities resumed. The lifting of the religious ban led to an influx of missionaries of all faiths into Albania, sparking a gradual revival of religious practice and the restoration and rebuilding of churches and mosques. Islamic and Christian schools were established, and young people were sent abroad to study Christian and Islamic theology. In the ensuing years, many young people from Muslim backgrounds converted to Catholicism to secure scholarships to Italian universities, while others converted to Orthodoxy to obtain visas or residence permits to work in Greece. In December 1992, Albania became a full member of the Organization of the Islamic Conference, now known as the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Following this, an Arab-Albanian Islamic Bank was established in Tirana, and about 20 Arab Islamic foundations were opened throughout the country. Foreign Islamic organizations initiated a nationwide mosque construction program and even covered the costs for Albanians wishing to travel to Mecca for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. Today, there are around 500 mosques in Albania, which, like the new Christian churches, have growing congregations. In the northern regions of Albania, the spread of Islam was slower due to the resistance from the Roman Catholic Church and the region's mountainous terrain. However, in the center and south, where Catholicism was not as strong, Islam gained a significant foothold by the end of the 17th century. This shift was influenced by the emergence of an Albanian Muslim elite, including pashas and beys, who played increasingly important roles in Ottoman political and economic life, making Islam an attractive career path for many Albanians. Before 1939, Sunni Muslims were estimated to represent about 50% of Albania's population, while Bektashi Muslims made up another 20%. There is also a relatively small Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Muslim populations have been particularly strong in eastern and northern Albania, as well as among Albanians living in Kosovo and Macedonia. Historically, Sunni Muslims have lived mainly in Albania's cities, while Bektashis have resided in more remote areas. Orthodox Christians have traditionally been located in the south, and Roman Catholics in the north. However, these divisions are not as clear-cut today. A Pew Research study found that 65% of Albanian Muslims did not specify a branch of Islam they belonged to. The Albanian census does not differentiate between Bektashis and Sunnis, instead listing Bektashis separately from Muslims, leading to many Bektashis being categorized simply as Muslims. Bektashi majority areas include Skrapari, Dishnica, Ersica, and Bulkiza, with large, possibly majority, concentrations in Kruja, Malakastra, Tepelena, significant parts of the Gjirokastër and Delvina districts, and western and northeastern parts of the Vlora district. There are also historically substantial Bektashi minorities around Elbasan, Berat, Leskovic, Perm, Saranda, and Pogradec. In Kosovo and Macedonia, there are pockets of Bektashis in Jakova, Prizren, and Tetova. The Albanian census has inconsistently classified Bektashis, with some areas like Skrapari and Dishnika mostly labeling the Bektashi population as Bektashi, while in other areas like Kruja, they are labeled as Muslim. Additionally, the children of mixed marriages between Sunnis and Bektashis, as well as those between Muslims and Orthodox Christians, often identify with both parents' faiths and sometimes practice both religions. This has led to varied and inconsistent classifications within these mixed communities. Among the followers of the four major religions in Albania, there is a blend of various religious and pagan traditions that date back to pre-Christian times. There have been serious allegations regarding the conduct of census workers, which might have impacted the results of the 2011 census. Some workers reportedly filled out the religion section without asking participants or used pencils, which were not allowed. Even among those who declared a religion, the majority of Albanians have a more secular interpretation of religion compared to other countries. According to an August 2012 Pew Research study, only 5 to 10% of the Muslim population in Albania consider religion a very important factor in their lives, the lowest percentage among countries with significant Muslim populations. Another survey by Gallup Global Reports in 2010 showed that religion plays a role for 25–39% of Albanians, making Albania the 13th least religious country in the world. The Albanian constitution provides for freedom of religion, and the government generally respects this right. The government declares its secularism with no official religion, and all religions are considered equal. However, the predominant religious communities, Sunni Muslim, Bektashi, Orthodox, and Catholic, enjoy a greater degree of official recognition and social status due to their historical presence in the country. National holidays include holy days from all four predominant faiths. All registered religious groups have the right to hold bank accounts and own property and buildings. Families face no restrictions regarding how they raise their children concerning religious practices. The generally amicable relationship among religions in society contributes to religious freedom. The government does not require registration or licensing of religious groups, although the State Committee on Cults maintains records and statistics on foreign religious organizations that contact it for assistance. During the period covered by this report, no groups reported difficulties in registering. Registered religious groups have the right to hold bank accounts and own property. Religious movements can acquire the official status of a juridical person by registering with the Tirana District Court under the law on non-profit organizations, which recognizes the status of a non-profit association regardless of whether the organization has a cultural, recreational, religious, or humanitarian character. All religious communities have criticized the government for its reluctance to grant them tax-exempt status. However, since 2003, foreign religious missionaries have been exempt from the residence permit tax. The State Committee on Cults, operating under the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, Youth, and Sports, is responsible for regulating relations between the government and all religious communities, protecting freedom of religion, and promoting interreligious cooperation and understanding. The committee asserts that its records on religious organizations assist in the granting of residence permits by police to foreign employees of various religious organizations. No organization reported difficulties in obtaining residency permits during the period covered by this report. However, foreign religious missionaries were generally issued only one-year residency permits instead of the 5-year permits allowed by law for residence in the country for more than 2 years. During the period covered by this report, the committee began working with the government on criteria that would allow longer-term residency permits of up to 5 years for well-established religious organizations with long-term ties to the country. Although there are no exact figures, several of Albania's estimated 450–500 mosques now operate outside the authority and control of the Albanian Muslim community because they have been built, owned, and run by different foreign Islamic organizations. Education is a major concern for moderate Albanian Muslims, who are acutely aware that local Islamic educational facilities are wholly inadequate. They are concerned about the growing number of young people who are forced to travel abroad to receive higher Islamic education. There has been no comprehensive study of the precise number of young Albanians studying in different Islamic countries. According to Sajmir Rusheku, head of the Education Department of the Albanian Muslim Community, AMC, In 2006, there were 1,357 Albanian students studying in Islamic countries, including Turkey, 350, Egypt, 206, Libya, 42, Jordan, 20, Malaysia, 50, United Arab Emirates, 14, Syria, 50, Lebanon, 70, Qatar, 120, Oman, 17, Yemen, 78, and Saudi Arabia, 350. These figures only reflect the students who went through the AMC, not the actual total number. The State Committee on Cults believes the true number of Albanian students studying in those countries is much higher. The idea of building an Islamic university in Albania was first proposed by Prime Minister Fatos Nano in January 2005 during talks with AMC officials. Chief Mufti Selim Muka emphasized to Nano the importance of establishing an Islamic university in the country so that young Albanian Muslims would not have to travel abroad and risk being influenced by extremist ideologies. Previous attempts to establish an Islamic university in Albania had failed. However, the Albanian government is now more supportive of the idea. Discussions are ongoing between the government and the AMC, and the Ministry of Education has agreed in principle to allocate a suitable building. In October 2006, Selim Muka, the leader of the Albanian Muslim community, AMC, denounced a decision by a small state university to suspend a female student for wearing a veil to school. The student was warned that wearing the veil contradicted the atheist philosophy of the Alexander Moisiu University of Dura, located 20 miles west of the capital. This was the first instance of such a case in any of Albania's 11 state and 14 private universities. Musa considered the suspension a violation of the student's human rights, but decided not to lodge an official complaint with the government. At the same time, another Muslim student at the same university was asked to shave off his beard or face permanent expulsion. Since then, there have been several similar incidents. Presumably, students affected by such policies will attend any new Islamic higher education facility in the future, thus ending these controversies. In Albania, a series of religious celebrations are held by the Muslim community. Two of these, recognized by the state as official holidays, are Bajrami Imad, Eid al-Fitr, celebrated at the conclusion of Ramadan, and Kurban Bajram, Eid al-Adha, celebrated on Tendu al-Hijjah. During Ramadan, practicing Sunni Muslims in Albania fast, and 5 nights are held sacred and celebrated, with dates changing each year according to the lunar calendar. In April, the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad is commemorated with a concert in Tirana, organized by the Muslim community of Albania, attended by political and religious leaders alongside many non-practicing Muslims. In addition to Sunni celebrations, the Sufis, particularly the Bektashi, observe various holidays and events. The birth of Imam Ali is celebrated on Nowruz Day on 22nd March, which is an official holiday. Besides Ashura, which commemorates the massacre at Karbala, numerous local festivals are organized, and pilgrimages are made throughout the year to the tombs and shrines of Sufi saints, such as Sari Saltek in Kruja. The most important of these is the pilgrimage to Mount Timur from 20 to 25 August to commemorate and celebrate the Shiite Saint Abbas Ali. Halal slaughter of animals and food is permitted in Albania, mainly available in eateries in large urban centers and becoming popular among practicing Sunni Muslims. However, there is no centralized organization for halal certification, and halal food is unavailable in state institutions like schools, the army, and hospitals. Requests for halal food in these places are usually sidelined. Muslim dress is not prohibited in public areas in Albania, although there are unofficial restrictions and regulations on religious clothing within public institutions to maintain the state's secular status. Principals and other officials have upheld these restrictions, leading to instances of young women being expelled or told to remove their headscarves in schools and universities. These restrictions have eased, especially after the Albanian government in 2011 backed away from proposed legislation that would have officially banned displays of religious symbols in schools. Religious Muslim law is not recognized by Albanian courts. However, the Sunni Muslim community of Albania recognizes nikah, or religious Muslim marriage, although not many people undertake marriage in this form. While chaplaincy is not officially recognized within state institutions, inmates in prisons have access to religious advice and preaching, although chaplains are banned in state schools. During the communist period, Muslim Albanians were buried alongside Albanians of other faiths, and due to this legacy, separate Muslim graveyards are uncommon in contemporary times. Thank you for joining us as we explored the rich and complex history of religion in Albania. We hope this journey has provided you with valuable insights into the resilience and diversity of the Albanian people. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about intriguing histories and cultural stories from around the world, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We look forward to bringing you more fascinating content. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.